My name is Monev360, and this is the Hip Hop Headz podcast. And I'm talking to a very special guest today. He's a MC who is truly a wordsmith. He has 2 master's degrees, one on the music business and the other in secondary education. He's the co-creator of MTV's The Lyricist Lounge show, and his music has appeared on TV shows such as Power, Criminal Minds, NCIS, and in the movies Hurricane Season and St. Judy. Not only that, but he can add author to his title now. So y'all join me in welcoming Wordsworth to the podcast.
Thank you, Monev. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No doubt, man. What's going on with you, man? How's things been going?
Everything's good, man. I've been teaching. I'm going on my 6th year of teaching. So I teach middle school right now. I teach TV production, film production, and music production. So I've been just kind of involved with just teaching and then working on more music, working on another volume of the book. So just trying to stay busy and active and finding other ways to still do hip hop, but just, all together.
Yeah. So how's things been going, this past year and everything with, COVID and everything we've been going through, man?
Yeah, I've been really just trying to be real cautious. I was going to go see my parents March 13th, and that's when COVID really hit New York, so yeah. I had to cancel that trip, and then we've seen what happened and it got worse. So during that time down and being a teacher, I was at home a lot. I really just felt like this was an opportunity to take advantage of it. So I ended up writing a book, and that's what I was like, okay, this is the time to do something. I didn't want to come out of the COVID situation and pandemic with all that downtime and nothing to show for it. I was like, nah, I got to at least, is it going to be an album done or it's going to be a book done, but something going to get done. And
right.
I ended up writing a book, What Words Are Worth, Volume 1.
Yeah.
So that could be.
I got that joint too.
Thank you, man. Yeah. And you can get that on Amazon. So that was my main thing. And then now just really trying to stay safe because I'm in the classroom now. I've been in the classroom since August. So
wow.
I want to make sure I'm safe in the classroom and then coming home and being safe for the family. Like most people are trying to make sure they're staying safe.
Yeah. So your family's safe and everything. So that's.
Yeah, they go back to school. My kids are in school. My wife go to work and so on. And it's one of those things you just gotta go out there and do the best you can right now with this.
Yeah, I also wanted to let everybody know some of the questions that I'm going to be asking Wordsworth in this podcast. They come from my Facebook group called Let's Talk About Hip Hop with Monev360. So if you want to be a part of that group, you can look into go on Facebook and ask to join.
Dope. So I gotta join that. I hope maybe I'm a part of it, but if not, I gotta definitely join that.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yes, hip hop discussions, man. You were talking briefly about the book earlier. What's the book about?
Yeah, the book is behind the scenes of my thought process on why I wrote a certain bar or why I wrote a certain song. Because a lot of times you'll get these books and it's somebody else breaking down the artist's thought, right? Or like to this day, right. What do you think Shakespeare meant by that and stuff like that? And I felt like let me do this book because I've written these books for years, but they've only been audio wise. So now I'm just like converting the audio books into more so audio books. When I say that, I mean like I'm converting the music into books and audio books for people to absorb, but also understand why it's important that I wrote that line. So I'm not just out there writing lines. I don't just sit there and write lines to rhyme. I sit there to hopefully write lines that's going to inspire, alter people's thinking, to change and stuff like that. Because I find it, I hold my name to a high standard. So if I'm going to be saying Wordsworth, there has to be some value in what I'm writing and what I'm printing. So with this book, you get to read the bars and the rhymes from the album New Beginning, but then you also get to hear how I see the world and my perspective and why that line or that bar may be striking to you and how come I thought of it and why it's important for people to read the book.
Okay. And when I got the book, I started like listening to the album together with the book and like reading it, and then like pausing it and then reading your explanations and stuff. It kind of reminded me of back in the day when you had the cassette tapes and stuff where they had the lyrics, and then you could read it while you were listening to the tape. So I know one of the things that you had said in the book where you said overthinking is the death of an artist. But like when I hear your rhymes, I can tell that you put a lot of thought into those rhymes.
Thank you.
So like how long does it take you to write like a verse usually?
It all depends on what the verse is for and what it's about. So what I mean by that is if it's a certain topic and situation that may deal with, like, let's say, civil rights and, police brutality or social injustice, I gotta sit there. I don't just, all right, let me knock this out in 20 minutes. I gotta sit there.
Right.
It might take a day. It might take 3 days. I gotta vibe with the beat. Make sure I'm painting the narrative. And so what's the direction of this verse? Because I can do a lot of social injustice verses, but then, I don't want to just be saying the same thing over and over. Right. But once I figure out that direction, then it takes me some time to do it. So, but honestly, it's a different case by case, because if I'm hired to hand in a verse for tomorrow, I can do it. Yeah. Right? It's case by case. So when it's my project, I have the luxury to kind of take longer to think. But if it's a verse for a feature, sometimes I need it in 2 days. So I got to do that. So my mind is kind of wired to the point that I can get it done when I need to get it done, and I can get it done when I want to get it done for me. Yeah. So I think you have to have that mentality to sustain in this business, but also have quality control. So that's a whole nother thing. So even if I write the verse in 2 days, my quality control, I think, is at such a high standard because I know what I'm looking for when I write. Yeah. And and sometimes you probably will have it to where if it's just like a streams of thought verse that it just inspires you, and then it don't take that long for it to come out because it's just words just start flowing. You probably have it like that sometimes too. Yeah. It can be back-to-back thoughts sparking. I might come up with 4 bars and then need to go in the kitchen and get something to drink, or take a drive and then get the rest. It really depends on what my expectations are of the project, to be honest, right? So let's say, for instance, I'm working on an album, and I'm like, okay, I want this album by March. So today I'm going to finish this song today. I can sit there, and now it may not take that hour or two. It may take me sitting there from 7 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. But I have that discipline. I will sit there. I will sit there. You want it to be right. Yeah, I will sit there. At the end of the day. I might gotta go to the store in between, throw the beat on, but like as far as like if I say I have to have it done by that day, I will do it, because the quality control for me is what keeps me here. That's why people hire me to do verses. People want me to do that because they know that when you hire me to get a verse, it's gonna be like on point. Despite, right. So I got to make sure my brand sustains what it is. Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you, what was the inspiration for your song on the album New Beginning called Believe? Yeah, just when I heard that beat, that beginning of that beat, that twinkle kind of, that twinkle sound, it gives me a visual of pondering. Okay. Like thinking, almost like a camera glaring up at the clouds and coming down. So like that sound alone made me think about a way to ponder. And that's how I write all my rhymes. I think I gotta have my mind thinks of pictures to go with the verses. So that's pretty much how my mind works. So when I heard that, my mind automatically thinks of what do I see with that sound, and what I saw with that sound was just thinking and pondering, but not me, maybe a kid or somebody pondering, a person just sitting there thinking. And what are they thinking about? They're contemplating how to get through, how to be successful.
Yeah.
You know, man, you know, how to make money. And, you know, I visualize that and just made me say, yo, you know, I'm watching you. I believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing you stare thinking, but yo, I believe in you. And that's how that, but it's really, that's how I hear it. I hear that part and I go, man, that's what I hear.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that everybody should have, you know, that you know, belief inside that there's more that you can do than where you are, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you might not exactly be satisfied where you are in life, but you can do more things, and you know,
you could always do more. You could always do more, and the reason why you know you could always do more because there's always somebody doing more than you.
Right.
So you know, you have to gauge what your more is, though. I think, right? Like you're more in mind. If you know, if you're into real estate, you're maybe more than mine in real estate, because that's not necessarily my passion. So you have to really find your passion and do as much as you can with your passion, which is what I think allows me to write the book, allows me to put another album out, allows me to keep going, because it's my passion, but I'm doing things with it that I typically probably wouldn't be doing.
Right. And you know, when I listen to the album has like very soulful beats, and you know, it gives me like that boom bap feel. Yeah. And I saw that you welcome, man, and like the I saw the production was done by Donnell Smokes. So like, how did you link up with Donnell Smokes?
Man, I believe I was actually tagged to him on Instagram, if that's right. I find a lot of producers through Instagram. And then I reached out to him, and we never met in person.
For real?
Never met him.
Like to this day?
To this day, man. FaceTime and stuff like that. And I met him, and then when I met him through the tagging of other friends, I hollered at him, and he sent me a whole bunch of beats. And his beats were so dope back to back. That album I did in like a matter of months, based off the fact that most of those beats he sent me are on that album. Because I was
okay.
I like this one. I like this one. So I was able to knock it out rather quickly. And Donnell Smokes, man, he's dope, man. I would say he's underrated as far as exposure wise, but he's done stuff for people. And when I heard his beats, I found out he rhymed. I didn't know he rhymed. So I was like, you know, let me work on the album. Once I work on the album, then I found a couple of spots for him to get on some joints. And he can do it all, man. He can do it all. And shout out to Donnell.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. That was interesting to hear that y'all haven't met, because you know I do music too, and I happen to know somebody that lives in Texas right now.
Right.
Guy by the name of Southern Phase, and never met him before, but we linked up through mutual friends, you know, and been doing music and stuff.
Right.
Pretty cool,
right.
Man. Yep. And what are your earliest memories of like hearing hip hop when you were young? Like, you know, I want to know that.
Yeah, earliest memories of me listening to hip hop really stems from my older sister and my older cousin. They're like 4 years older than me. So my older cousin Elliot, he used to freestyle and rap a lot. So that's how I started learning how to freestyle, from him, watching him do it. He would just be able to walk down the block and come up off the top of the head. And I was like, I want to do that, you know? And then my sister, she would do like talent shows and things like that as far as dancing. She would always be in a talent show dancing. And then buying all the records. So like the Run DMC, here we go.
Yeah.
Big beat drum. That big beat drum, you just start, wanting to rhyme. And then, so I would say definitely my sister and, the LL Cool J albums and watching Crush Groove. And it's going with her, to Kenmore Theater in Flatbush when it was back in the days, and watching Beat Street and Crush Groove, going with her, them takes. And that really inspired me and influenced me, So that's where I got a lot of my influence from right there, for real.
Okay, and on that note, like, who was like the first MC that you would say that like inspired you to like want to pick up the pen and actually rap? Like,
man, I was in 5th grade around then. Man, I was like 5th grade. What am I? 5th grade, 6th grade. Then it got to like, so I was like around 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Man, I would say Run. I used to like Run a lot, man.
Yeah, Run DMC. Yeah, he's cold, man. Like,
Run was the dude. Like,
to this day, man. But yeah, even the old stuff.
Whose House? Like, just Run was that dude. Then that LL was that dude too. But like, I was inspired to kind of just like rap at that time from them. I would say Run DMC and LL, and then it took to like when the Juice Crew came out. That's when I was like, it was ended, right? Like when Kane came out, Kool G Rap was my favorite. Still one of my favorites, So there was a certain bar set, Master Ace. I bought like everybody in the Juice Crew album at the time. Like you said, I'm looking at credits and everything.
Right.
I would say I was inspired by like the Run DMC's LLs, and then my quality control of bar and lyricism came from G-Rap.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good
I was
good
like,
parenting.
Because I would listen to G-Rap, and if anybody listened to G-Rap rhyme for the most part, even if you go back to the old stuff, he would always have an internal rhyme before the end.
Right.
It's super hard to do every rhyme, He would say, go to the store. Got skills to pay the bills if you want to get more. And it's like that internal rhyme. I was listening so much. I was like, yo, this guy's rhyming in between every time.
Right. That's revolutionary, man, because it wasn't a lot of people that were rapping like that back then.
Oh, they would do rhyme, let it in, rhyme in.
Yeah, last one.
Man, I'm Terminator Data, your rhymes of Sarah Connor. You get ripped up, wrapped up, slipped up, slapped up, because you're trapped up to get capped up. Play the background of this here scenery. You clowns who get broken down like machinery. I'll bring trouble on the double, bust you like a bubble. Hard rocks get crushed in the rubble. Oh, man.
That's crazy. Kool G Rap is,
to this day,
he's underrated, man.
Man, just listen to that.
Talk about him enough.
On the double, busting on the rubble, hard rocks crushing. Yo, Cool is Back is one of those rhymes, man. And if anybody knows, if you're a Rakim fan, at that time, Eric B was producing for Rakim, but you had also Large Professor and Marley Marl. A lot of them had same samples. So if you listen to Cool is Back is the same bass line as No Omega, if I'm right, and Rakim, and they both do no hook. It's almost like that's the battle. So
So that's probably why a lot of people wanted to, see them battle, because it's the similarities and stuff, and
I love into No Omega and Cool is Back, because it's that, all right, you cool, you going 60 bars, I'm gonna go 60 bars.
Yeah, that friendly competition,
right?
So I also just wanted to know. I wondered, how did you come up with your rap name?
Man, I used to be the principal because there was the new school. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna be the principal of the new school, or this new school. And then like one day I'm sitting there, living room, me and my boy chilling. Heathcliff came on.
Yeah, I remember Heathcliff.
And they had a cat named Wordsworth that always had headphones, and every time he talked, he rhymed.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I was like, yo, that's my name. I'm gonna do Wordsworth from Wordsworth. And it stuck because based on me going to high school and college, if you look at a lot of my old pictures, I always had headphones on and I rhyme. So it just fit the whole dynamic of who I was at that time.
You know, I think that's real cool, man, because, you know, I was hoping that it wasn't something so simple that you just got it from William Wordsworth or something like that. Like, you know,
it's so crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
I didn't know nothing about William Wordsworth until I got to college.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, he a poet? You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, Wordsworth a poet. So then it was like understanding that that's where the cartoon got it from him.
Yeah, yeah. And so like, how long had you been rhyming? Like, whenever you had first started rhyming, before you were ready to let other people hear it, like battling other MCs or like getting in ciphers, you know?
I was battling like 5th grade. I battled 6th graders. I remember battling Scooby and Tino. That's what they named. They were 6th graders, and then they were a little older than me, but a little younger than my sister. I was battling in public school, court in the playground right there in the yard. And then I really started stepping out more so at high school, going to open mics and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's when I started stepping out. Like, you know, I'll go do a show here and there. I wasn't really doing like a full-fledged show yet. It was kind of like you signed up and you spit your verse and things like that. But it wasn't really until high school I kind of started stepping out more.
How I became aware of you was when you did Twice in a Lifetime, when you was on that album with Black Star, and also on the Love Movement, on the Rock Y'all, you know, on that joint. So like, how did those collaborations come about?
Well, that's all pretty much, we're all family in a way related, right? As far as related from hip hop, I mean. So Twice in a Lifetime came about because Kweli and Mos and me and Punchline, Jane Doe were all in the same circles trying to come up.
Okay.
And then we would all rhyme on the same radio stations. So we were kind of like, at that time, with Stretch Armstrong by Beto, NYU with DJ Riz and DJ Clips, and going to all these stations around that time, we were kind of some of the most elite rappers in New York.
Okay.
So then us hanging out, it was so crazy because I started hanging out I knew Mos' brother before I knew Mos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mos Def used to have a group, in a group with his brother, right? Like,
right. And his brother, I met from my sister, because where she was living at, she became friends with him and my cousin. So they all knew each other.
Oh, okay.
So his brother used to come to my house and we used to trade Nintendo games and video games. I didn't even know other Mos Def.
Yeah.
So one day I'm outside freestyling in a cypher, and I say, and I get in there and I go, how we do it like that? It's Wordsworth. And Mo stopped me. Yo, you Wordsworth. Like, yo, brother, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we found out that we were all friends. Like, most knew me, didn't know me as Wordsworth. So it was like, that's how we all knew each other friends. So then being in the same circle, ended up being on the Twice in a Lifetime. And then that same circle of Kweli and Mos are already down with that whole thing with Tribe. So Q-Tip and Mos are super tight. So we automatically
brought it together.
Yeah, but Q-Tip had hosted a show me and Punch did at Tramps and called it was a Lyricist Lounge show. And he called the Lyricist Lounge looking for us performing, about us being on the album. So we got hooked up with Tip from him hosting the show, but lo and behold, he already knew everybody we knew. So like, oh, all right, yo. So it was just like all family at one point like that. Okay,
so yeah, you mentioned the Lyricist Lounge. So like for people that don't know, like what is the Lyricist Lounge? What's that whole movement?
Yeah, it would be an event held in different places. So it might be at this club down here, then the next one in the Bronx, and the next one downtown. So it was one of those things that they would they would find the hottest talent that gave submissions, and then they would showcase that talent. And then sometimes they would be able to get some elite artists, so like maybe a Q-Tip or a Busta Rhymes or somebody of a stature to host it. And that hosting of it would bring a lot of light for you to go check the show out, because who's hosting, but you got introduced to a lot of new talent. So it was really like a farming ground of, all right, next week we're in Manhattan on 33rd Street, and we got, Science of Life performing with Jay Live, and who's hosting? We got, Q-Tip hosting, and then you will come out because Q-Tip's hosting, and now because he's hosting, you give a little more regard and respect to the people that are brand new.
Right.
So, and now you get more of an ear for them, like, oh, okay, some new people. And then you had like Biggie there, you had Biggie, Foxy Brown went through there. There's a lot of people right before they was gonna blow up went through there too. So it was one of those like farming places. But I think one of the main catches was the fact you could see an actual maybe superstar to us hosting it, and you're performing with them introducing you. So that's made it.
And that will make you, make sure that you're sharp and you're ready, because this person gonna be there that's hosting, and they gonna be watching. So you got to bring your A game.
That's what the Lyricist Lounge was about. The best talent getting together, and new talent, up and coming.
Right. Yeah. So, because I never knew that it wasn't one place. So it could be anywhere. Like
it's wherever they can book the venue. It's wherever
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you hand out the flyers, and then people find it. Yo, where's the next Lyricist Lounge? Yo, I heard it's gonna be in the Bronx. Boom. Now you going there. Where's the next Lyricist Lounge? Yo, it's downtown over here. So you just show up, and that's how it was. It just went from word of mouth and handing out flyers, and you will find out.
Do you know whoever first started it?
Yeah, Danny Castro, Anthony Marshall. They first started it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just actually spoke to Anthony yesterday, literally on the phone with him yesterday. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to ever interview them about it, just let me know. Email me. I could.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. I really would.
Yeah. Awesome. So if you ever look, like, I see you got Sound Bombing behind you. I might be right about that. Right?
Oh yeah. I got that. Yeah, I got the cassette. Yeah, I love this joint right here.
Right. So Sound Bombing. And then I see you got Lyricist Lounge, I think first album there, maybe?
I used to have it.
Okay.
But I got this I got the Black Star album here too.
Right. So if you think about the first Lyricist Lounge album, or even a Sound Bombing, that's pretty much the Lyricist Lounge right there. Because remember, all those people were underground people, but not really, they weren't superstars. But
right.
We album. So imagine going to an event and all the Sound Bombing artists came on stage before they're known. Because even Eminem was on the Sound Bombing before.
Yeah, he was on that one. Yep.
All right, you see what I mean? So you're there before people blow up, and it's all pure lyricists like that. So.
Yeah, like a breeding ground,
Breeding ground.
Yeah. Did you ever see like people get booed at the Lyricist Lounge if they couldn't cut it, like?
Because they really did a lot of vetting before you just stepped on stage.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And it wasn't like you just was on stage out of the blue. It was like a flyer. You're on this next event. We know what you sound like. You're gonna do these songs or whatever. You got your time limit. So
yeah,
it wasn't just like a random getting up there and boo. It wasn't like that. It was it was organized. So that's what made people want to go, because it's kind of like these people were vetted. They must be dope. They're on the next Lyricist Lounge. So
yeah. So like we were talking about some of the Rawkus albums and stuff a minute ago. Like, so were you ever signed to Rawkus?
No, I wasn't, and that's a great question, because people would think I was, man, because I was all over.
It would seem like it.
Yeah, everybody thought that. I never was on. That is like one of the biggest, if I had to say, myths. I never was signed to Rawkus. I just was rhyming on everything that I could rhyme on at that time, and I'm glad to have been. At that time, we were kind of actually, it was punching words, kind of messing around a little bit. We was trying to maybe mess with track masters a little bit. We had some other deals here and there, but never on Raucous. But yes, everybody thought that.
So what label were you on, like when you first started, like when you first got with Punchline or whatever?
Yeah, we ended up coming out on an independent called Mona Hip Hop by my boy JF. So he had an independent label in which he actually put out my boy Strick's first record, The Boot. And then that's how, I think he put out a single with Master Ace as well. And that's how, when we met JF, he was doing those records, and that's how we met Master Ace.
Oh, okay.
He played the stuff that he was working with us and said, yo, what do you think of these guys? And Ace was like, yo, they're kind of dope. I want them on my project. And that's how we got together.
That's how that came about.
So that was how we did Mona Hip Hop. And then years later, I got my own solo deal with Half Tooth Records. And that's what ended up making Mirror Music.
Okay. Yeah. And like, as far as like record deals go, had you ever signed any bad record deals that you would say, in your opinion, or do you regret any moves that you've made in the music business overall?
I would have to say, honestly, only thing about me being in the music business is probably for a lot of people this happens. You don't have the best team, but you have the best talent. So I realized all of us are LeBrons in the game, but not everybody's gonna play with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
Right, I see what you mean.
See what I mean? So some of us are gonna be Charles Barkley. Some of us are gonna be Shaq and get 4 rings. Some of us might get 1, some of us might get none. So I realized where I'm at is I feel like in my life, in my career, I'm more the type to get my ring and my championship ring probably as a coach now. So that's what makes me also stay thriving to put out music and things like that. So I would say my first record deal was pretty good because I negotiated, I got all my publishing since. So luckily I knew about that. So I never forfeited my publishing. So from the first album to now, if they want to license something or anything like that, you gotta call my publishing administrator to use anything from then to now. So since the first album, every other album I own the masters to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I own the masters and everything. So that's because I knew early. And I watched all the horror stories of the artists before us.
Right.
Going up in the offices with bats and being mad at them. I was like, man, dudes are willing to cause this much violence over that. This must be something important. I remember one time I was offered like $75,000 for my publishing from a record label called Avatar. They put out the Oz soundtrack.
Oh, the Oz, like the TV show Oz.
Yeah, they put out that, and they put out some other projects, and they were a publishing company, so they would pay you a lot of money to do the album because they would pay you a lot of money to take your publishing for the album because in the long run, they're gonna make more money off of it after they give you that $75,000.
Right, $75,000. That's low. That's low for residual income for the rest of your life.
Exactly. So I knew about that. So during that deal negotiations, I was like, nah, I'm good because I pretty much was like, if I'm mad at you tomorrow, I still owe you records.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
We were talking about the Lyricist Lounge, like, where you would go and showcase your skills and everybody, Mose, M, and Biggie and everything. Then there was in 2000, there was a show on MTV called the Lyricist Lounge Show. So like, how did that start?
That actually started from a freestyle that I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so during the recording of the Lyricist Lounge album 1, all the MCs that's pretty much on that album, we were all in the studio. There's this picture out there where you can probably find it. It's with us in the studio, Firehouse Studio. You'll see it's probably like 30 people in that picture. We were all in one room waiting to do a rhyme. and my boy Wise Guy and Gaston, they usually have a camera and a radio waiting for us to start rhyming. They're like, you know, playing. They catching all that footage.
Yeah.
So, lo and behold, that day when the camera came to me, I did a tutorial on teaching people how to rhyme at home.
Oh, okay.
So then I started doing that in the camera and making pretend the wall was the board, teaching you how to write a rhyme.
Yeah.
Other MCs in the room started asking me questions in rhyme. Asking me questions.
That seemed like a skit too.
Right.
Yeah.
I responded to them in rhyme.
Yeah.
And that tape became so popular, it's actually dubbed, they call it The Professor. So that tape became popular. And I remember they was like, man, this could be a TV show. And I'd be honest with you, I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. Hit me when it can be. So then a guy named Jake Septimus wound up presenting it. I guess he had some in with some TV people at MTV or whatever the case may be. And he got us a pilot audition. So then Danny and Ant of the Lyricist Lounge, they had to figure out what talent would pull us off. That's where the genius came in from them. They was like, well, we got to get words, keywords. Then they said, we need to get Master Fool because his energy.
His energy.
And then we need power. And they put us together. We flew out to LA. We did the audition. We wrote this skit about going to court. Did it at the House of Blues in some like secret room they have. And then we did that on a Friday, got called back Monday, and then the rest is, as they say, history. We had two seasons, so it was real dope.
I know that there was also like not just like you, Master Fool, and Power, but there were also like people like Tracy Ellis Ross and stuff on the show, and like, you know, people that were like kind of more like in the acting world. I think the lady Heather McDonald. So like, who wrote the rhymes on the show for like everybody? Like,
we wrote the rhymes for the rappers that came on too. So we wrote a majority of everything together. Me, Master Fool, Def Jeff, Power, you know, AL, he wrote a few things. Punch was there at some time. Everybody. Thurston wrote his own. But we wrote like the rhyme for Snoop on there. You know, we wrote CeeLo's whole verse. We wrote Big Boy's verse on there, and we wrote one, I forgot which one it was, Crazy Bone verse from Bone Thugs Harmony. I mean, we wrote stuff that you wouldn't think we probably wrote it because we wrote it in their voice.
Yeah.
So if you watch the skit with Big Boy, and then I think it's Crazy Bone on there. He comes on and he's like, speed double time rhyming, and then we gotta go on like a
yeah, that one was dope.
Nah, but we wrote that, you know.
Oh, I wouldn't even have known that. I would have just automatically assumed that the rappers wrote their own verse. Like,
only person that really wanted to write their own rhyme was MC Light wrote hers. And Slick Rick wrote some of his, if not all of his. The things that we did do is like, Snoop changed. I want the Sega Genesis. I want the Sega with the. I want the Dreamcast with the controller. He said, I want the Dreamcast with the blue controller. Like, obviously blue because of But he was like, man, who wrote this? That's one of the main things that who wrote this? And we was like, us, you know. So that was that. And then
freestyle though, when on the end.
Yeah, he murdered it. Legendary. That was a legendary part of the show. And you know, he probably couldn't wait to that ending. You know, to do that. That was that was mostly everybody at home part. They couldn't wait to the end of the show for that.
That was awesome. And like, so for the people that were actors and stuff, was it hard getting them to get into like rapping for their skits and stuff, like doing their parts?
Yeah, they would only rap when it was our skit, so like they had to try to figure out where they fit a line in. I mean, that was something so new at that time. A lot of the actors were scared because it was like they didn't want to mess up the time. They didn't want to look corny. trying to get down, you know, but then we would just find like one line for them. We wouldn't push it overboard, you know. We would be like, because they wanted to show more of a, you know, chemistry with the cast. So we did an elevator skit, and we gave.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so we have one of the actors in one line there, you know. So we try to get them in there to show more of a chemistry with the cast. But they definitely were nervous, and it was new for everybody.
Yeah, but it came out really dope. I think that it was really authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when something gets of hip hop gets converted to being on primetime TV, sometimes they make it corny. But I never felt like it was like that. It was really dope how y'all did it.
I keep it 100. The first few days of, you know, first we meet, talk, discuss what we're doing. I would say that first few bars of rhymes we were trying to come up with. Our first skit that we wrote was the bank heist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Over that Quiet Storm beat. And
they got some on YouTube. They got this stuff. I was looking back at it not too long ago.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. That was the first rhyme we wrote, and when we first started writing it, we were like trying to figure out. Let's not get too crazy technical with it, you know, and remember the world. So that rhyme, when we first started writing that rhyme, we got that rhyme together and it started coming together and everybody could understand it. We was like, oh, this is gonna be a go. Because we knew the rhymes, even to this day, sound fire. You know, they're gonna be classic bars because we knew how to keep it simple but clever. And that's what we were worried about, because remember, I'm coming from the underground where dudes,
you don't want yourself to be looking crazy, you know, like
he dumbed it down too much, so we couldn't do that. So that's why good morning, Sharon, your name is Sharon, correct? We had to make the withdrawal and endorse the check. Forget the check and just make the withdrawal. We like making sure that the rhymes sound crazy, and it could have been like, good morning, we want your money out the bank. Make sure that you do. We was like, the concept of how do you talk to people that aren't like us,
right,
without losing us.
Mm-hmm.
As we wrote those bars, we was like, okay, if I say good morning, Sharon, your name is Sharon, correct? Everybody understand that, and my flow sounds not like I'm sacrificing. So
right.
It was discussions though, as far as we had to figure it out. Remember, we're doing something nobody ever did. So now we're trying to figure out, how do I write this rhyme for 300 million people and across the globe to understand me without jeopardizing the streets that heard me rhyme for real. And we found a good balance with it. And then once we found that balance, it was, we wrote stuff for Common. We wrote stuff for, we wrote everything that, for the most part, like I said, it's only probably like 2 people that wrote their rhyme.
Yeah. So like, what would you say are like some of your favorite sketches from the show?
The Ledge is legendary. Me and Mosa on the Ledge.
Yeah, on the Ledge.
That's legendary. The bank heist is we rhyming over the Quiet Storm beat. You can't get no better than that.
Yeah, you can't get no more gutter than that.
Man, that at that time, banana.
One of the ones that I like is where y'all had that it was like a football sketch, and it was like every time somebody left the huddle, you would talk about them, like, you know. That was ill.
I remember writing that, man. That was second season. We was living in a hotel until they found a new house, because we lived in a big mansion the first season, and then we didn't know we was coming back second season, so they ain't gonna keep the house open for us. And then we came back second season, and we had to stay in a hotel for a few days. And I remember just like sitting at the table and writing that, man. I literally just wrote that whole thing sitting there, and I literally remember sitting there. And like 42, it takes 3 seconds down, and 4, like writing it. And then I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna end this. And Fool came with the last line.
Oh, okay.
He said, it's a quarterback fake. You with me? Break.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yeah.
Quarterback fake, because I'm faking everybody out through this rhyme.
Right.
And not even just saying, I'm being fake as a quarterback fake. It's just a perfect ending. Like there's nothing better than that ending for that rhyme,
Yeah. Do you still keep up with your cast members from the show and stuff?
Yeah. I've spoken. I would say I've spoken to everybody in like the past maybe year or so. Like we're all friends on Facebook, and then like Instagrams and stuff, and then like call up and stuff like that, FaceTime. Yeah, so that's been dope, man. I would say that's been dope, and I think that bond is still there because everybody has seen us become successful outside the show. Right. Everybody kind of was like crazy and lost it. You'd be like, I can't mess with that person. But like, you can see my man Power is real big with social injustice. If you ever found Power Malu online on Instagram, super big.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look him up. Yeah, I remember him from the show, but I'm not following him on Instagram yet.
Social injustice. Fool, he just recently dropped the album, I think last year, and he's still trying to maintain with putting more music out. Me and Mike are on Facebook, so I might just happy birthday talk on there. So it's Heather. We're on Instagram. Heather's on Instagram and Facebook. We talk. Marty, speak to him on Facebook.
Yeah, I remember him.
And then Tracy, speak to her on Instagram and stuff like that. Yeah, I keep in touch with everybody, and I think it's because everybody's maintained their own stardom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that is real dope. I think that's real dope, man.
So let me ask you though, so like since the show was so groundbreaking, no one had ever seen that, like with people, mixing comedy with rapping. Like, why do you think that it didn't last longer than, what do you say, 2 seasons?
2 seasons, yeah. The second season was very tumultuous based on we didn't have the right director. We had they switched out our director, and at that point we had a director that really didn't care about the music and the rap part. It was a tension on there, right? So like we go from the first director that was like, if you mess up on a bar, we gotta redo that bar. The second director is just kind of listening, has no rhythm,
no idea what it should be, what it shouldn't be.
From what I recall, I believe it was like we had gotten like Tom Green's staff, which didn't care nothing about hip hop. Our first staff was straight. Everybody to the T was hip hop based background. Then the next one was just like, I worked on this. And they came in with an attitude of, I worked on this show, I know what I'm doing, and didn't want to hear what we were saying, how to do it. Yeah, because they came from something that before, and they're like, people have their pride, so it was a little bit of that. But I think, hey man, I look at it as 2 seasons, man. Some people don't get 2 seasons.
Some people don't even get 2 seasons. It's dope, man. It was a really dope show, man.
So when I
enjoyed it.
I wish, of course, it was 8, 10, of course. But even to say we went 2, I feel some validation in the fact to make it a 2, man.
Right. And you had mentioned earlier how you had met up with Master Ace, and then you talked about Strick and everything. I mean, like you were in the group, pre-Slaughterhouse. So it was you, Master Ace, Strick, and who was there another member, right?
Yeah, it was Punch.
And Punchline, yep.
How that came about was the fact, remember we all did those independent records on that particular label?
Right.
And I was saying Mona Hip Hop, and then Ace had us all on his album.
Okay.
Disposable Arts. Excuse me.
Disposable Arts. That's the joint right there.
we're all on there. So then Ace ended up touring for Disposable Arts and brought us along. That turned into us touring together for 15 years every year.
Wow.
So you think about like 5 midway through first, second album, third album, something around there with Ace doing solos. You see us on tour together so much.
Yeah.
I mean, every year we were out for about a month or 2 in Europe together.
Yeah.
So now you got people like, y'all should do an album together. Cause we're on stage.
Yeah, you're always together anyway. Yeah.
4 of us rhyming on one song together, and you like that song we did, you like this song we did on this album. It just, do a whole album with all 4 of y'all. So we wound up doing this song called 4 Brothers, and we put out a video for it, and people was loving it. And I told her did that beat, and then we wind up saying, let's do the EMC album. And that's how that was formed, man. From the fans, we talking about back-to-back years of together, and everybody's like, yo.
Yeah, it's just organic. Like it, you might as well do it because everybody cool with everybody anyway, working together. Do you prefer being in a group or solo? Or does it not matter at all?
Doesn't matter, man. If you listen to my last album, I did a group project with Pearl Gates, Champion Sounds. If you check that album, that came out in 2019. That's one of my favorite albums ever. And it's me and my boy Pearl Gates. And man, that album is incredible. The entire thing is produced by Quincy Tones. And me and him go back to back, and it's like almost like, me having Punch was dope back then, but we just couldn't mesh to do an album.
Oh, okay.
We just 2 different visions of rhyming, to be honest. Like we work well doing the EMC albums because Ace kind of quarterbacks that. Yeah. Right? So it makes it
like the leader.
Yeah. But when you got me and Punch together to do a project, it's a little more difficult because he has a certain vision, I have a certain vision. So doing the group project with Gates, me and Gates have a similar vision in how we like to talk about issues that's going on. So we have a similar vision and issues and things we care about, so that works easier. So either way, I'm fine either way.
Okay, that's what's up. The guys in EMC, like you still cool with everybody?
Man, we talk every day, man. We got that WhatsApp group chat, man. There's no way we not talking. I mean, every I don't know, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, WhatsApp goes off. Yo, you read this? I mean, it's a whole bunch. What is it? It's all of us in there. It's about 6 of us. We got even, my man Steve, the Angry Merch guy, he's on there, in there with us. Gates is in there, and then us, the EMC. Power, my boy Power was in there because Power actually ended up DJing on tour with us for some of those years too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was DJing.
Yep, and you look at some Master Ace footage, you'll see him. He got a big afro in the back sometimes DJing with Ace. So he's went on tour with Ace too, separately. So he DJed. So that's how tight we are. So we're all in that group chat, and we talk about everything, man. We talk about world life issues, what's going on fan-wise, technology, everything, man. So every day we talk, every day.
Yeah, and I think that's really awesome that that you have friends like that in the business that you can still talk to and everything, because a lot of times when they stop working together like professionally, like as a group, people automatically think that there's bad blood, but that isn't it's not always going to be like that,
Now we all talk. Me and Punch don't talk like that no more like that. We kind of went our separate ways on just artistically.
Yeah.
So me and him don't really communicate like that. But me and the rest of the brothers, we're every day about everything, doing music and stuff like that, and life, really, honestly. We talk about just whatever's on our mind.
And another thing is that you have your music in films and TV shows. How did those things come about, like you're licensing your music in film and stuff?
Well, I gotta shout out Michelle Bayer. She I guess saw me being talented when I was younger and was like, believed in me to be like, well, I guess, she has a publishing company and she's able to get placements and all that. And she was like making sure, hey, I could track down, she's able to track down money for stuff if I put something out and all of that stuff. And she felt like she believed in me as an artist, honestly. And then I signed to her company. We did a deal with her company for a percentage that she gets from collecting my money from all these things I've done.
Yeah.
And within her having that publishing administrating company, she gets movies that ask for music for TV shows and everything like that to the publishing company, music supervisors. So that's part of the deal too. Is as far as being able to not only generate money from my work I've done all these years and making sure somebody put something out. Oh, okay. Make sure you get that.
Yeah.
She's also getting offers, and like a TV show is looking for a song. She's able to submit songs and say, I got this song here. And they're like, cool. So lo and behold, she represents me, Master Ace, Prince Paul. That's just a short list of it, which some big heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Prince Paul, I didn't know me and Prince Paul. She represented Paul at the time. And Prince Paul was working on the Politics album, I believe. And he actually, I actually wound up being on a song with Paul, with MF Doom. And
cool.
Man, so that's a blessing.
When did that happen?
That was like early 2000s. The name of the song is called People, Politics, and Places. If you look it up,
you'll check that out.
Yeah, Wordsworth, MF Doom, and Chubb Rock. So, long and behold, that was dope. Paul got me on that. Me and him have the same publishing administrator. So, Paul gets this opportunity to do Dexter's Laboratory. So, he's like, yo, he already has the deal to get the song on there. He's like, yo, I want to see if we could do a song to this beat and see if we can make a song. If they take it, they take it. They don't. I'm like, all right, cool. So then I get and I go, I'll say, what's this? Let me go watch the cartoon. Then I go, uh-oh, Dex is in the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. And he was like, yo, they like it. I was like, all right. And then they wanted to make a cartoon, like commercial for it and everything, video. So that's on YouTube and stuff. So I'm like, all right. So then he gets hit again about, because now you're building that rapport of cartoons.
Right, yeah.
Honestly, to be honest, it's not the typical writing. Like if I said, yo, write this for a cartoon to somebody, you might get baffled. It's actually another thought process to write for cartoons. You know,
because you do got to dumb it down kind of when you write for cartoons, right?
It's a dumb it down, and then it's also the idea that's going to be catchy. You know, like you got to figure it out. You got to kind of weigh out how you're going to do this record. You know, in a different mannerism. It is dumb and down because it's kids, but a certain way. So then Paul gets called for SpongeBob. Same deal. Yo,
okay.
Bubble party. I don't know if let's try it. Boom.
Yeah.
They got it. I'm like, okay, that's 2 cartoons for me. You know, maybe I'll get something else. So lo and behold, years later, I would say 2015, got hit with Michelle Baird. She got this other opportunity again, DreamWorks.
Okay. Oh yeah.
They're doing Peabody and Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
So the rapport is already there that I can knock these cartoon things out with Paul.
Right.
Paul wrote me in. So we all get on a phone call with DreamWorks and, you know, we're like, oh yeah, sure. What's the project? I go watch the cartoon, you know. I listen to some beats and I go, I know what kind of beat I need. So I tell Paul the beat I need. I actually listen to another artist and I kind of mimic this beat.
And let me ask you something, like, because it's for TV and stuff, like with the beats, is it always no samples? Because, you know, like,
yeah,
you know,
no samples.
Yeah.
So to give you an idea, just to kind of throw a little nugget out there, I knew what I wanted to do tempo wise. At that time, there was a real popular song out at the time. I said, yo, I need something like this. And Paul made it up.
Yeah.
And it was a version of that without it being that song.
Right.
And I picked the year. They gave us like a year, like the year that I needed to get something that was invented. So I picked the Ferris wheel. And then I wrote the hook and had my wife sing it. And the rest was history. It was like, yo, it's incredible. And so then they made a cartoon with us. So if you go on Netflix right now, you see us in the cartoon. You see me and Paul as cartoons right now.
And and what was the name of that one again?
That's Peabody and Sherman.
Peabody and Sherman. Okay.
Yeah, Peabody and Sherman, season 1, episode 2, and you're gonna see me and Paul on there as cartoons. So that's huge.
That's awesome, man.
Because even to this day, people go, "Look what I just seen. My 2-year-old was watching things, and I'm just popping up, and people."
Right.
And that's how that kind of occurs, man. You kind of, you write songs. You gotta just kind of write songs and not sometimes worry about them. But you gotta have songs with no samples, and then also, I do songs that have nothing to do with my album. So I kind of compartmentalize when I'm working on those songs. So I'll do like my album songs here, and then I actually have a whole bunch of songs nobody's ever heard that are made for TV. Because it's a different technique and a different sound than what I would present album-wise and what I do album-wise. And you have to be willing to understand that and happy with that compromise within yourself, because you're a business. It's like me, if you make hoodies and I'm like, I'm about to buy 1,000 hoodies from you, but I need, short sleeve hoodies, and you don't make them, you got to be like, well, if I'm a business,
you got to learn to make them. Yeah. Learn to make everything.
Right. So one of my main things I tell people is that when you're in this game, to sustain and be in this game, you got to add tools to your tool shed. Right. So those type of records may need a wrench. If I go in your tool shed and you don't got a wrench, you're not prepared. So I make sure that my tool shed is always updated and upgraded, which hence goes back to the lounge, why we were able to do everybody's flow. You can't tell. You see what I'm saying? So, but it really hurt me probably do those flows on my stuff, but we wrote everybody's stuff in their flow, which it's in my tool shed. It just only comes out when I need it,
Yeah, it comes from being a fan and hearing people, and you already have your own style, and you just adapt it the way you have to adapt it.
Yeah.
And another thing that I like that you said is, like, as far as like with the different songs and stuff for the cartoons, that you just submitted it, like, take the shot. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
It was Paul. Paul
take the shot.
Yeah, Paul believed in me. And then after that, we actually wound up doing a whole kids album, the Dino 5. I don't know if you ever heard that. That's Paul did all the music. It's me, Charlie Tuna, Ladybug Mech from Diggable Planets, and Scratch from the Roots.
Wow. So like you educating me, man. So it's like I'm gonna go back and like watch all this stuff.
Well, the Dino 5, we want to do. So all of that led up to that album. Me rapping with some real successful people, doing the kids album totally, and then so it just stems from that. So Paul believing in me, man, is dope.
You also are teaching music business classes to students now. How did that come about?
Yeah, I teach TV, film, and music production. In 2015. My quick short story, pretty much, my daughter was failing her classes. I went up to the school to find out what's going on. They told me they had inadequate substitutes, basically. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go become a substitute so I can teach her class.
Right.
I fill out the paperwork. I go down to the district, and this lady, a white lady, came up to me and kept it 100. She said, yo, they need more black male teachers in there, not no substitute. They need like a full-time black male in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. And that was the realest question I ever been asked in my life. And I changed right there. I said, all right, I'm gonna be a full-time. And I went. I never been asked to do nothing more important than that, I think, ever. So then I go there. I wound up actually being a reading teacher, teach reading for 2 years. And then my school wins a grant, and they know what I really do at heart, and they allowed me to design the program. So that's how that came about.
And that's awesome, man. Like, you know, giving back, you know, the knowledge that you have to other people, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully
it's only 2% black males in the teaching in the country. So 2% in the country of 330 million people, man. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So when you think of the narratives that a kid thinks of people, it's because they don't see themselves to have another narrative. So, you know, you can only think, if you were to really think how many black teachers you had coming up. I remember in school, I had one black teacher, I think Mr. Austin, and that's about it. Coming up from elementary. Middle school, don't recall any black teachers.
Yeah, when I think back, I probably can count them on one hand.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So you can only imagine, multiply that by a lot, right? So we gotta kind of be there, and that was the realest question ever. Because I could have said, nah, I'm good, I gotta go, you know, I'm making this music, I can, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, you know what? If something happens with the next generation of kids or some of these kids, I hold some of that responsibility, because I had an opportunity to go help, and I said, nah, I'm chill, I'm gonna make this song. So you gotta really, you know, push aside your pride and realize what it is. And it was the best decision, one of the best decisions I ever made in my life.
That's awesome, man. You know, it's good to be that positive role model, you know. I mean, I know that sounds cliche, but like there's a lot of young black youth coming up that don't see that in the hood, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
man, you know, man, like, I mean, you know, but you know what I mean? You don't even know, like, how many times when kids come into the room and then I'm teaching them how to write records and they recording songs. My class has a full-blown studio and everything, and we recorded it and everything. And they come in and be like, Mr. Johnson, and then they do research and find out I'm a rapper. Mr. Johnson, a real rapper? How you a rapper? Why you here like that? And I tell them straight up, I'm here because I'm here to help you. Because if you don't see me, you don't know that there is a me. And it makes them kind of like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, they do some crazy, awesome stuff in there, man, in the class. And I'm just helping them like see their potential. Today, this kid, this is my second day. We switched over. Second semester now, right? Switch over. New kids. So I got new kids for this semester. And this is my second day. So I get these kids every other day. So I had them Tuesday, got this kid today, Thursday. Second time meeting him. Had the beat, came up on the board, showed him how to arrange it. He was hyped. So next week, start writing the bars, go in the booth. That's only my third day meeting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's up.
But
so you be making beats too?
Yeah, well, we use GarageBand and they make the beats. And the whole class is you make the beat. After you make the beat, I show you how to arrange it. Then I show you how to come up with melodies. Then you write that. So we got full blown, like, tons of songs inside the studio that have been recorded this year. And 2 years ago, there was a TV and film contest, and we won the best music video. We won 2 awards for best music video. It's amazing, but like, if I'm not there, like, really, who's walking them through that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just really being real on how much we need to be there, because there's not too many examples to help them do that stuff, you know.
And like, along that note, like, you know, I know a lot of people ask this question, but it's really interesting, you know, because like coming from the era that we know, like, you know, you were talking about the Lyricist Lounge, where you're actually going places and rapping and stuff like that. But, you know, ever since the internet, now it's a new way for people to have access to people and give access and distribute their music. But it's so many people doing it. So like, what would be your advice to kids that, you know, are creative and want to be rappers and producers and stuff, of how they can be successful and break through the noise, you know?
Yeah, if you're young and up and coming, you have a lot of time on your hands, probably, you know, depending on where you are. Because I know that stage when I was maybe 16, 17, depending on where you are, you got a lot more time. You really just gonna have to stay putting out multiple projects like you've been doing, grinding and putting out project after project. And now, you know, kids are putting out projects like maybe every month, maybe every year.
Oh yeah.
Right? When we came up, it was like one album every 2 years, you know? So if you're younger, I would say do that route. If you're older too, you can go that route if you got time. But if you're older, I would say you might not have that much time responsibility-wise. So I would say be self-aware where you are really in your career. Because I've seen people invest in buying tons of records and vinyls, or investing in thousands of dollar videos and no views, or whatever the case may be. I think you got to be content with where you are in your career and say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna press up 100, sell this 100, flip this 100, and turn down from that 100 to 1,000. You know, and gradually grow. Because you're older, so you know you might not have the million followers on there unless you've been staying on top of it. Some people may have, but like, you know, we got families, we got things like that. So be very mindful of, don't overinvest in yourself.
Yeah, you gotta be realistic to a certain degree, you know, even though you can't, like, expectations too high, and then if you don't meet it, then you know, get depressed and all, like, you know. So
yeah, man, I don't do anything like that. I try to keep it at a low level of, all right, you know, we're gonna do a couple 100 here, and we know that when it's uploaded, it's gonna do enough downloads that the downloads will even offset what was invested into the CDs. And
right.
I still do CDs because when I tour, people want the tangible goods. Even if they're not gonna play it, they just want me to sign it. They want something they can take.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not gonna go out there. You're not gonna see me press up 2,000 CDs. It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I got a nice system I've been running for the past few years, ever since I put out my solos and so on. Thank God, I recoup every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. Yep.
I stay in a certain measure amount of what I'm doing, and it recoups every time. And I'm able to split the money with whoever, and we all get money every time a check come in. I'm able to split the check. So I'm realistic about where I'm at, and I think you got to be realistic of where you at with your age and where you are career-wise, and do it like that. And like I said, for the young guys, younger girls, just stay prolific, because that's kind of your race right now, is really against a lot of other people that's just uploading every second, every minute, every month, every this and that.
Right.
So if I was that age, 16, 15, I'll be doing the same thing. I would be recording. I got a mic right here. You know what I'm saying? I would be constantly putting out stuff. But I recognize that's not my race. You know what I'm saying? I'm content.
Yeah, you don't have to do that now. You know, you got your back catalog and stuff.
In general, knowing like I'm gonna do a quality album that will buy me another year or two with another album, put a book out. I gotta with what I'm doing. You know, I want to be on panels. I want to be a poet, maybe a poet laureate flown in to do public speaking. You know, like, so my view is making sure I'm growing with my art and my capabilities. And you know, when I can, I'll do what I can. But understanding where I am and growing is what I would say.
And I think you kind of just then got into answering my next question, but like, you know, we talked about a lot of different things about the Lyricist Lounge show, your music and film and TV and everything, your book. So what's next for Wordsworth? What, you know?
Yeah, what's next for me is the second volume of the book. Another album. I got a couple albums I'm working on right now simultaneously with different people. And then, man, me and Superstition got an album.
Oh yeah, Superstition for NC, yeah.
Yeah, me and him got something going on. And then I wrote a musical. That's really one of my next things. So it's kind of like
awesome.
Yeah, I got a musical that I've written.
You got a title?
Yeah, I got all of that pretty much. I got half of it in my phone to listen to, like I could play it. Type vibe. That's how far I am with it. People probably think
I mean, I don't, I don't want you to spoil it if you don't have to.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I say that because sometimes I'll be like, I got a musical written, and then people just kind of like, all right, well, it's just written there, sitting there. Nah, it's like I'm building it and recording it, the songs, so that way when it's time to do auditions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm visualizing these steps, so it goes from the book. Then I do a musical, then the musical goes to stage, and then the stage goes to theater and all these things. But the one thing I've learned about being successful, to be successful, focus on your objectives, not the goal.
Could you break that down? What do you mean by that?
Right. So if I want to eventually have a full-blown movie, right, in a movie theater, I got objectives I need to get to and accomplish first before the movie.
Okay.
Some people just want to do the movie and then they're like, I got a script, and then they keep trying to bump into people to get their script, but they don't do anything in between to say, okay, I'll do this and then I'll do that and do this and then it'll lead me to that. So if you think about if you look at video games, you can't get to the boss without finding the sword. You can't.
Yeah.
Right? You got to find all these things before you get to the boss.
So you got to have you got to have a plan in place of how you're going to reach the goal.
Yeah.
Instead of
a lot of people like to, quick hustle. Yo, I'm trying to put this album out. All right. So then it's like, word. Okay, cool. So did you do this? Nah, I didn't do that yet. Did you even get your BMI ASCAP together? Nah, I just been putting stuff out on the internet. Yo,
none of the steps.
None of the steps. So that's a key I run by in my class, heavy. Like they be like, cause they're like, I want to do this. I'm thinking about, putting music under it later on. I'm like, all right, yeah. But if you have nothing done, how can you put music under something? You don't.
Yeah.
Like the kids are like so many. They're like, I'm working on music for my video. I'm like, yeah, you're working on music for nothing. You don't have any video to work on music for. So you have this. You're already at the end. You don't even have a video. So
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Waste 3 classes of working on a beat, and then in about 2 or 3 classes, I got to give you a grade for your video? That makes any sense. You got to get this video done, then we put some music on it. So I always tell them, like, I'm a first thing first person. Like, so I just got to help them with it. I love when we go through that process to help them with logical order of how to get the things done. That's very big in school, teaching them that logical order. And I think that's what's helped me be super successful. Because as a rapper and as an artist, I'm all over the place. As a teacher, I gotta have some type of structure because there's 180 other people depending on me. But as a rapper, I'm waking up when I want. I'm like, yo, it's 12 in the afternoon. Where the studio at? Yo, I'm about to go eat. Yo, I don't know. I might stay up till like 4 in the morning. I just came home. You all over the place, scatterbrain.
Yeah. So let me ask you, like, do you write your goals down? Like for the different things that you want to do that you told me about?
Got things in the to-do list on my notes, and I got the little bubble next to it. Hit it when it's checked off, when this is done. So I have my stuff written down, and then I manifest it by doing it. So like the book is done.
Right.
Now I know I got to do book 2 because I put volume 1 on there. I did that on purpose, hold myself accountable for volume 2. You know, one is on it, so that means there got to be a volume 2 for myself. So accountability is big too. If you want to be successful, find a partner that's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah, that's true too. That's good advice.
Right, Monev, I just met you, right? But if you say your words, I'm working on the album, and then I don't speak to you in a year, and then it's like, yo, what's up with the album? You're gonna be like, man, I done did this and this and that. You done ran off in a way like we never spoke in between. So the album,
yeah.
Right? For me, I have those guardrails up, because when I say I'm doing something, I say it to somebody, I hold that in high regards that they're waiting for me to bring. So you gotta find a partner. One of my other things is finding a virtual partner, which is Facebook for me. I'll post on Facebook working on a book. Now people are like, with a book. So then I gotta respond. I'm up to this part with the book. So those are my virtual people that hold me accountable. Find somebody that can hold you accountable. Set a deadline, and then find somebody you can, when that deadline come up, yo man, I'm only up 2 songs in, but at least you're getting, all right, well 2 songs, that's good. Send those 2 songs, yo. So let's try to get try to get 4 by next week, right? If you think about that on a grand scale, even if you look at Kobe, LeBron, and all that, they got coaches, they got people holding them accountable, man. Accountable.
Yep, coaches, their fellow players, like, you know. I really appreciate you saying that, man. Like, you know, because that's helping me, and I'm sure that is helping people out there too. You know, that like you can have all these ideas in your mind, but then you got to write it down. You got to get it on paper. Decide when you're gonna do it. Like, you know. So
accountability is a key to being successful, and you have to know that you can't account for yourself all the time. I feel like I'm in a groove that I can account for myself. But I do like to share my stuff with my friends. Like I got songs here that my friends have heard, and they give me that, yo, that's fire. Yo, you need to finish that project. Word. Boom. Let me go finish that. So you got to find those people and keep your circle with positive energy of people like that. So everybody I'm around is on that vibe. They're gonna, yo, that's fire. You finishing that? What's up with that? Yo, you sent me a song 3 weeks ago. What's up with that project? Word. Yeah. I'm almost done. I'm almost about to send you the rest. You know, as you get older, you start losing that. Because remember, everybody gets older, coming adults and kids.
Right.
So you doing the album, but y'all ain't checking on the album no more. It's more like, yo, so what's good? We going on the trip? We'll be taking the kids. I'm checking in on you about family. I'm not checking with you on the album no more, because I'm not even on the album vibe no more.
Right. I know exactly what you mean.
Right?
I feel you.
Yes, you gotta find people that's in that circle, or even if, yo, this is the deadline for the project. Word, you gonna do it? Yeah, it's my deadline, yo. You know, throw it out there to people that will hold you accountable, man. If you want to be successful, I'm telling you, man. You'll hold yourself accountable for your job because your boss says it's due by next week. But then your own self and your stuff that you do personally at home, you just chilling. So don't work hard.
Right, that makes no sense
right.
at all.
So don't hold yourself. Don't work harder for somebody else that when you won't work as hard for yourself, man. And that's whole nother thing, man. I'm not going for days about this, but it's real.
Most definitely. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man, hard every day, waking up, working, and it's dope that you have a job and everything. But then, you know, you got your own personal things that you're just as talented, if not more talented, than where you at or whoever. And you just be like, I'm chill on my stuff.
Yeah, it's good about going hard. You know, that's the way I feel. You know, trying to go hard for what I, you know, believe in and what I want to do, because, you know, I still work a 9-to-5 job, but, you know, while I'm on the job, I'm still thinking of ideas, you know, about different things about hip hop, you know what I'm saying, and how I'm gonna put things together. So, you know, that's how it goes. Yeah. But so like I definitely thank you for coming on, and how can people come get in contact with you, and where can they get the book and the album?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You could hit me on Instagram if you want. My Wordsworth beats at gmail.com. That's usually where people's producers send their beats or features. They hit me on there for features, or Instagram, Facebook. I'm pretty accessible with that. And then the book, you can get the book or Words of Worth Volume 1 on Amazon. You can get this on Amazon. And it made it to the top 10 new poetry releases when it came out.
That's awesome, man.
You look at
accomplishment.
Yeah, if you go on my Twitter, Wordsworth_EMC on Twitter, you'll see that's my actual avatar, is top 10 new releases in poetry on Amazon. So that's a big accomplishment for me, my first book. So that's, man, I could talk all day, man, but I try to talk to get us hype. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo. So, feel free, brother, whenever you kind of like thinking of something outside of this, I'm trying to figure out how to do this, and that, hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's what's up. I really do appreciate that, man, and I thank you for being a special guest on the Hip Hop Headz podcast. And for everybody out there, you can also listen to the Hip Hop Headz podcast in audio form. Like this will be on YouTube, but you can also listen to it in audio form or any other podcast. You can check your podcast services out, and it's like it is on the screen, Hip Hop Headz with a Z. So it's definitely on. You can check it out on Spotify. So yeah, once again, thank you, Wordsworth, for coming on here, and I wish you nothing but the best, man, and all your endeavors, man.